Hello and welcome to Express News. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. In the next half an hour, we'll get you all the latest news and updates. We'll start with the top story. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with school students, teachers and parents at the 7th edition of Pariksha Pe Charcha 2024 in New Delhi today. The interactive program saw the participation of nearly 3,000 students. Participants discussed issues and concerns related to the matter with PM Modi, with the final examinations for various standards due in the coming months. Prime Minister Modi also visited the art and science exhibition put up by the school students in New Delhi's Bharat Mandapam. The beating retreat ceremony was held today at New Delhi's Vijay Chowk to mark the end of its 75th Republic Day festivities in India. The ceremony is held every year, 3 days after the Republic Day. The ceremony featured musical performances by the bands of Indian military marching on Shankhnad, the martial tune, motivating all to contribute towards the nation building. One of the tunes played at the beating retreat ceremony shows the glimpses of the Indian Army with one of the Indian songs, Faulad Ka Jigar. Indian President Draupadi Murmu met the tribal guests, tableau artists, NSS volunteers, and NCC cadets, officials and other artists on Sunday at President's house who participated in the 75th Republic Day parade. The meeting showcased India's rich cultural heritage and commitment to national service, reflecting India's unity and inclusivity. The leader also emphasized appreciation for diverse contributions to the nation. Indian politician Lalu Prasad Yadav appeared before the Enforcement Directorate in East Indian state of Bihar's Patna on Monday. He was summoned in connection with the alleged land for jobs scam. Officials of India's Enforcement Directorate made a visit to Chief Minister of Eastern State of Jharkhand, Hemant Soren's house on Monday related to ongoing money laundering investigation. Braving the early morning cold, devotees gathered to offer prayers to Lord Ram at Ram Janmabhoomi Temple in India's holy city, Ayodhya. In response to the overwhelming influx of devotees, the Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust has issued a schedule. The exhibition, titled Modern Tribal Connecting Traditions, was launched in New Delhi on Sunday. The exhibition features tribal art from central India alongside Australian indigenous works from New England Regional Art Museum's partner, Utopia Art, Sydney. The inaugural edition of India-Saudi Arabia joint military exercise called Sadatan Sikh commenced today at Mahajan, Rajasthan till 10th of February. Aim of the exercise is to train troops of both sides for joint operations in semi-desert terrain under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter. In a momentous ceremony, High Commissioner of India to Sri Lanka, Santosh Jha, laid the foundation stone for the symbolic Ashoka pillar, which signifies Buddhist teachings. The pillars honors the emperor's role in spreading Buddhism to the island nation, strengthening people-to-people connections. The project, entrusted to Sri Lankan artisans, aims to showcase the rich cultural ties between India and Sri Lanka. The Indian envoy to Bhutan, Sudhakar Dalila, met the newly elected Bhutanese Prime Minister Shering Tobgay. He conveyed greetings of India's leadership on his assumption of responsibility as a Bhutanese Prime Minister. Responding to immediate requirements of Papua New Guinea, India provided US $1 billion immediate relief assistance. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar inaugurated the Indian Hotels Company Limited Hospitality Skills Centre today in West Indian state of Gujarat. India's naval forces have gained international praise for their timely help to a commercial oil tanker that was struck by a missile in the Gulf of Aden. The USS Carney and other coalition ships were providing assistance to the tanker. This week, domestic equities are likely to continue with consolidation ahead of the United States Federal Reserve interest rate decision on Wednesday, where it is expected to maintain status quo. The global markets are also expected to react to India's interim budget this week, which Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is set to present on Thursday. The Indian markets ended in green on Monday. Sensex jumped 1,240 points to settle at 71,941. While Nifty saw 385 points to settle at 21,737. The Indian rupee fell 3 paise to close at 83.14 against the US dollar. Gold future maturing on 5th February stood at Rs 62,202 per 10 grams on Multi-Commodity Exchange of India Limited. Silver futures maturing on 5th March stood at Rs 72,013 per kg on the MCX. Oil prices surged by 1% on Monday amid worries about fuel supply following missile attacks on a fuel tanker in the Red Sea and expectations of reduced Russian refined product exports due to refinery repairs. Brent crude futures climbed 83 cents to $84.38 per barrel after hitting a session high of $84.80. West Texas Intermediate crude rose 78 cents to $78.79 per barrel. A Hong Kong court ordered for liquidation of property giant China Evergrande Group on Monday amid deepening crisis in China's financial markets. In a big setback for Maldivian President Mohamed Muizzu, the main opposition party of the Maldives, the Maldivian Democratic Party has moved impeachment motion against President Mohamed Muizzu. Maldivian Democratic Party along with the Democrats have gathered signatures of 55 members. The Constitution, along with the Parliament's standing orders, provides for impeachment of the President with 56 votes. 3 U.S. service members were killed and dozens were wounded during an unmanned aerial drone attack on U.S. forces stationed in northeastern Jordan near the Syrian border. U.S. President Joe Biden has blamed Iran-backed groups for the attack. U.S. officials also said that at least 34 personnel were being evaluated for possible traumatic brain injury. Iran's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani has denied involvement in the drone attack, terming the claims baseless. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley, who started a campaign rally in South Carolina on Sunday, mourned with a moment of silence for the families of 3 U.S. service members killed in Jordan. The Austrian Foreign Ministry on Monday said the country is suspending payments to the United Nations Palestinian Aid Agency (UNRWA), calling for a comprehensive investigation into accusations that the agency's employees were involved in the October 7 Hamas attack on Israel. North Korea tested its new strategic cruise missiles for the second time in a week on Sunday, calling it a newly developed submarine-launched cruise missile. The missiles flew above the sea of the country's east coast and hit an unspecified island target. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un said the missile will add a strategic significance in carrying out the plan for modernizing the army, which aims at building a powerful naval force. The Philippines and the US are planning to host a 2+2 meeting of top diplomatic and defense officials in Manila in March this year. Russia's President Vladimir Putin has been registered as a candidate for March 15 to 17th presidential election. Both supporters and opponents expect Putin to stroll to a new 6-year term, which would make him Russia's longest-serving ruler since 18th century. The Russian Pacific Fleet frigate conducted anti-submarine drills off the coast of South China Sea on Monday. The warship detected a mock enemy submarine and confirmed its coordinates. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky declared his income across 2 years on Sunday as part of a drive to boost government transparency and root out endemic corruption. Zelensky also voiced danger of Ukraine conflict escalating into World War III as he pressed his case for support from nations from Germany to the United States in an interview with German state broadcaster ARD on Sunday. The Security Service of Ukraine said that it has uncovered a corruption scheme in the purchase of arms by the country's military, totaling the equivalent of about $40 million. In Venezuela, the opposition called for the reversal of Supreme Court ruling that upheld a ban on presidential candidate Maria Corina Machado's election participation. North Macedonia's parliament elected Talat Zaferi to head a caretaker government on Sunday. This is the first time an ethnic Albanian has held such a higher position. He will lead the country until general elections, which will take place in early May. French farmers continued nationwide protests demanding better pay and living conditions, with the government dropping plans to gradually reduce state subsidies on agricultural diesel. The protests have led to roadblocks on motorways and damage to property, including local government offices. The French government has stepped up security measures as farmers prepare to converge in Paris. Italian farmers have also joined their European counterparts in protesting for almost a week to denounce the European Union's agricultural policies. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan offered condolences to the family of a man shot dead by two gunmen in a church in Istanbul during prayers. The attack took place at St. Mary Draperis Church in Istanbul. It is still not clear what was the motive of attack or why the victim was targeted. Pope Francis has also conveyed his condolences to Turkey after the attack during the Sunday service at a church. The Pope also urged people to respect civilians in conflict areas. Southeast Asian country Malaysia is all set to coronate the nation's new king, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar, on Wednesday, following the successful election from the southern state of Johor to the monarchy in October last year. Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdullahian and his Pakistani counterpart Jalil Abbas Jalani met in Islamabad on Monday and discussed bilateral cooperation between Pakistan and Iran. They underscored the importance of robust dialogue and cooperation in bilateral relations. Myanmar's military junta is all set to extend the state of emergency in the country. The junta imposed emergency in 2021 after coup, when it seized power from Aung San Suu Kyi's elected government. Three Western African states, Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso, left the Economic Community of West African States after the regional economic bloc urged them to return to democratic rule. India's northern belt continued to reel under intense cold as temperatures stayed below normal. The national capital, Delhi, woke up to a foggy morning and extreme cold on Monday, affecting several rail operations. Higher reaches of northern India's Kashmir Valley received fresh snowfall on Sunday after a long dry spell while rains lashed plains. The Indian Met Department has forecasted that prevailing weather conditions will continue till 3rd February in Jammu and Kashmir. Tourists at Gulmarg were seen playing with snow as this was season's first snowfall in the region. In a significant initiative, the Empowering Girls NGO has joined hands with the Indian Army to empower young women in North India, Srinagar, through skill development. The collaborative effort involves providing comprehensive tailoring skills training along with the provision of sewing machines. Dog lovers in India's western Nasik city showed off the talents of their pets at an animal show on Sunday. Dogs were seen flaunting near perfect ramp walk and tricks and stole the hearts of the spectators. At least 160 dog breeds participated in the event. Belgium Malinois won the first prize, followed by Shih Tzu at second and Siberian Husky at third. Hundreds of old luxuries were displayed at a vintage car fiesta held in India's financial capital Mumbai last week. The exhibition aimed to preserve automobile and motoring heritage in the country. The 2024 World Digital Education Conference opened in Shanghai on Monday. The three-day event is aimed to build a high-level platform for international exchanges in digital education. Cubans participated in the March of the Torches to commemorate the 171st anniversary of the birth of national hero Jose Marti. The march began at the University of Havana, where thousands rallied to raise the flame of freedom, shouting revolutionary slogans. Now, SpaceX launched 23 Starlink internet satellites from a Falcon 9 rocket on Sunday. SpaceX have also landed its first stage booster on the drone ship named a shortfall of gravitas in the Atlantic Ocean. Two climate change activists hurled soup at the protective glass in front of the world-famous Mona Lisa painting in Paris' Louvre Museum on Sunday. Visitors in Paris Museum were angry and confused after the incident. In recent years, many activists in fact have targeted art to raise awareness about climate change. The glass in front of the Mona Lisa was smothered in cream in a protest in May 2022. Now, King Charles underwent a procedure on Friday morning and is said to be doing well. His upcoming public engagements have been postponed to allow a short period of recuperation. Britain's Queen Camilla visited King Charles at a London clinic on Sunday, where he is recovering following treatment for an enlarged prostate. The annual boat parade kicked off in Venice on Sunday. Tourists lined the city's Canal Grande to watch the noisy and colourful flotilla sail past. The Venice Carnival began centuries ago as a period of excess before the rigours of Lent, the 40 days of fasting that traditionally precede Easter. This year's festival ends on February 13th. British landmarks across the country lit up in purple on Saturday to mark the Holocaust Memorial Day. The annual event honours the millions of Jews and other minorities murdered during the Second World War. The London Eye, Piccadilly Circus, the Millennium Centre in Cardiff and Leeds Civic Hall were among some of the landmarks to glow in violet tones, to illustrate this year's theme, the fragility of freedom. 75 hot air balloons took part in the 9-day International Balloon Festival Chateau, which closed on Sunday in Switzerland. Dozens of colourful hot air balloons dotted the near cloudless sky above the Swiss alpine town of Chateau during an annual festival. It enthralled scores of balloon flyers and spectators from around the world. Dancers from a samba school in Rio de Janeiro were shaking things up on Sunday night as they ran through a technical rehearsal ahead of the annual carnival parade. The competition between samba schools at the carnival is one of Rio's most recognizable cultural activities. The Rio de Janeiro Carnival will kick off on 9th February and will run until February 12th. The 69th edition of the popular Indian award function Film Fair took place on Sunday in the Indian city of Gandhinagar. The event was hosted by ace film director Karan Johar and included performances by several Bollywood stars. In the award ceremony this year, Alia Bhatt took home the Best Actress trophy for her role in Rocky Aur Rani Ki Prem Kahani, while her husband Ranveer Kapoor won Best Actor award for his stellar performance in Animal. Sandeep Reddy Vanga's Animal led the pack with a total of 6 trophies, while Vidhu Vinod Chopra's 12th Fail won some of the biggest awards for the night, including Best Film and Best Director. Fans rushed and broke through barricades in their eagerness to see actor Kartik Aaryan as he arrived to perform at the 69th Filmfare Awards, but fortunately no injuries were reported. Hindi film director Siddharth Anand's latest film Fighter, featuring Hrithik Roshan and Deepika Padukone as Indian Air Force officers, crossed the 100 crore mark in India on Sunday. Makers of Despicable Me 4 have dropped the first trailer of the much-loved franchise. The animated comedy is set to release on 3rd July this year. Hollywood star Sarah Jessica Parker will debut in Neil Simone's comedy about marriage, Plaza Suite, opposite Matthew Broderick. All of Us Are Dead, the widely acclaimed post-apocalyptic zombie K-drama on Netflix, is set to return in early 2025. The show was greenlit for a season 2 in June 2022. The Netflix documentary series Beckham, which came out last year, was a positive experience for Victoria Beckham, who opened up about it in a new interview. The 49-year-old designer said it felt quite liberating as she and her husband David Beckham shared their honest insights into their marriage and family life in the series. Sports now. India crushed Jamaica by 13 goals to 0 in their third and final Pool B match to enter the quarterfinals of the FIH Hockey 5's Men's World Cup in Muscat, Oman. In shooting, Divyat Singh Pawar shot a world record 253.7 in the final to clinch the air rifle gold at the International Shooting Sport Federation World Cup in Cairo. In the women's 10-meter air rifle competition, Sonam Uttam Maskar bagged silver in her first International Shooting Sport Federation World Cup. India all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja is likely to miss the second test against England in Visakhapatnam after suffering an injury on day 4 of the first test in Hyderabad. In fact, he has been ruled out of the second test. Jasprit Bumrah has been handed an official reprimand for breaching ICC Code of Conduct. Bumrah, after completing his follow-through, deliberately stepped on Oli Pope's way as the batter went for a run, leading to a collision and inappropriate physical contact. India dropped 3 spots to 5th place in the World Test Championship points table after their 28-run loss in the series opener against England in Hyderabad. West Indies climbed 1 spot in the World Test Championship standings to the 7th position after their stunning victory against Australia by 8 runs in a nail-biting contest at the Gabba. The International Cricket Council has lifted the suspension of Sri Lanka cricket with immediate effect. Sri Lanka cricket has been reinstated as a member of the International Cricket Council after 2 months suspension. India demolished the United States of America by 201 runs in the final group game of the Under-19 World Cup in Bloemfontein. Italy's Yannick Sinner scripted history as the world number 4 crowned as the new Australian Open men's singles champion on Sunday. Alright, that's all we have in this edition of Express News. You stay tuned for more news and updates. Namaskar.